Almost 1 year, Kiwi. It's been almost one whole year since I started doing this channel, and I'm kind of filling in the blank at the moment. I don't really know what I'm going to replace the Pokemon series with, but like I said, I wanted to take a little bit of a break, but I figured since we're coming up on the 1 year anniversary of this channel, do a little special one-off of something that we've made together and just kind of appreciate it. So this is our Minecraft world that we've done a mixture of survival and creative in, and I figured I'd show off what we've made. So probably the coolest thing we've made now, this is totally ripping on a build designed by, I think the YouTube name was Mr. Matt Ranger, so full credit to him for this. We did do some modifications like here. The intent is to be the atrium to a giant trading hall. And I think we came up with the chandelier ourselves, and I'm quite happy with how this looks. It's really pretty, but most of the wall design and the ceiling design as well was entirely someone else's idea. But we've got this really pretty turtle pond. There's a random panda because why the heck not? We came up with this little kind of cute stained glass kind of window pane aesthetic as well. And then this hallway over here was entirely kind of Kiwi, a combination of both of us. I think Kiwi did the upstairs more, and I kind of did down here. But we figured we'd have another little kind of hallway of trading hall. These little alcoves will have merchants in them eventually. But we kind of did this really cool center pattern with I think it's glowstone in the ceiling, and then up here we've got this another level to the trading hall. Kiwi did this ceiling, I did the chandeliers, and I think it looks really cool. And then we're gonna eventually, there's some sand in there, you can see we'll eventually have little aquariums in here as well. I just need to set it up with some kelp so that it's not a downward stream that's pushing everything down. But I think it's we made something really cool in here too. And then of course back here I'm planning to eventually have an elevator, so I've cleared out a whole space for the elevator shaft. This is we're honestly calling this place the lab, because if we go back downstairs, the lab we're planning to have kind of like factory production of things or automated production of things. Oh, actually one other cool thing that I have going here is I'm going to make like a little go-kart track. There'll be an entrance here. We run on the ice, and then if you go fast enough, you'll be able to get enough speed to go launching into here, and I'll show you what that looks like. There's nothing really exciting about this design yet, but if you do go down here, this is something cool that I found. Basically, I alternated rainbow colors, and it looks like it's somehow tilting to the left, which is a really weird perspective. But look at this. Isn't this fun? This is really cool. And then it just shoots out into the main course eventually, and you just keep going down this way. I may need to make this turn a little bit wider, because it's very hard to work through. And then out here right now, I'll definitely have to change how it looks outside, but it's basically just a giant strip of rainbow road, basically. If I hover above here, you can see it's just a giant rainbow strip. As we get back to the lab, you'll see there's a little weird alcove over here. This is entirely an accident of me learning how to use structure blocks to speed along building production. And our top floor eventually will be kind of this like big outwards garden, but I do kind of like how it looks from above, because you can see kind of the lighting, the water ceiling that we had in the atrium. I can actually show you the ceiling here. We have little lanterns and sea pickles that make it kind of look comboed with, I think it was some sort of, I forget what it is. It's a nether block. But it has like gold speckling to it, and so it kind of looks like a Starry Night aesthetic to it, and I think it looks really pretty. But delving further into the lab, like I said, there were going to be floors for like production, an automated iron farm, automated experience farm, that sort of thing. We don't have, that's basically what this whole room is. At present, it's just a singular block of sand. Why is it a singular block of sand? Very good question. I do not know. But we do have some cooler things further in. Namely, our automatic sorting machine. So we have a sorting hall. In similar vein to the atrium, it's basically we have a whole lot of extra space, but largely once we fill in the blanks, it'll just be these hallways. But we have an auto sorter that sorts every single item that we could find in the game that is worth finding. This was kind of an accident, and then it became a joke where we just started stacking black dragon heads on a table. And also the hallways are just guarded by random heads to delineate what's what. I have no idea what our patterns for deciding what was what is. I do like to look at the dragon heads and think there's some sort of security camera. Here we were testing out different aesthetics for the upper portion. I was messing around with a bunch of different color palettes to see what worked, and I was thinking about lining this with lava, but I just kept screwing it up, so we just went with water for now. But I'm not sure we're gonna stick with that. But yeah, we have a giant auto sorter. It's pretty crazy, the redstone circuitry that went into this, but it's actually fairly simple. I just made it, it's pretty modular, so you can keep it going for quite a bit. So we just have it going around. It's the intent is for it to drop in here, and then it'll circulate until it finds where it belongs as it travels along this kind of cross-shaped arrangement. And we can certainly make this sorting hall longer down the road if we need to. Going further into the lab, there's one other really cool thing we have here, and that is our nether portal, which was also not an original design by us. It was something we found online, but we are planning on making this entire area look really like walled off and kind of like super creepy. And then here's a really cool thing that came from the build. If you push the button, it turns off, and then when you push the button again, maybe it was a little too quick, hold on, push the button. Well, in theory, it should turn on, but I guess something broke. Oops. Oh, now it has a boat on it. All right, I've magicked some flint and steel into existence, and we're just gonna reignite this portal real quick. There we go. And we're working on another hub. We don't quite have one yet, but we're working on it. We've got a cool little beacon system here, and I'll show what's over this way soon. It's a whole lot of nothing, so we'll save that for last. But it's a whole lot of fun ideas for the future. But let me show the house real quick, because the house is our other big work in progress. Right now, it's mostly a big box, but it also has a fancy library. Funny enough, I mean, it makes sense for a house that Kiwi and I would live in. The first thing we built was a giant library, because why wouldn't we? But this is what our house is looking at right now. It's a giant acacia block, pretty much. And much like the lab, while it's going to start off in that shape, the walls are eventually going to come down or fill out, and I'm going to make it look a lot more pleasant. We've got an automatic farm. We plant things in, and then we plant stuff here, and then when it's ready to harvest, we just open a little trap door, and it flushes everything into a set of collecting, or it pushes it all to the center here, and then we can collect it here. I have a giant farm for food when we're playing on. Oops, I should not light the house on fire. Oh no. Oh, I destroyed the door. This is going great, Kiwi. I lit the house on fire and broke the door. We're fine. Anyway, so this is kind of what we're having right now. This was the start of our house, which just had a bunch of storage. We made this really cool looking fountain. It's got like I think it's purpur is what it's called, a combination of quartz and purpur, with little quartz crystals on it and coral. And above it is this weird glass pane window. I don't know really what I was aiming for this. To me, it looks like the symbol of Zaros from RuneScape, honestly. But really, it's just a whole bunch of empty floors at this time, except for the library, which is up here. And still a bit of a work in progress, but I've got this cool little centerpiece over that glass floor with like a bunch of enchanting tables. I'm figuring out a design for kind of a couch aesthetic. We've got our little enchanting room over here that has some books to get enchantments from. And then over here, the circuitry is broken. I tested it earlier, but basically, in theory, when I put a book in and out of this, a secret door should open right here that lets us bypass what I've made into a giant library maze. And it's multi-floor, and it has dead ends that bring you back to the entrance. There is a secret room that is actually very open right now, but I'm going to make this look like a little kind of, not laboratory, but like study sort of area. And these doors lead to the circuitry that makes that fun little book thing that I mentioned work. And this is a lever that leads to a secret entrance that kind of bypasses the maze. It's got 2 levers, I believe, except the second lever has not been pulled, I guess. But if you do the maze, you are led to a sign that says Bach this way. And if you follow the sign, you find the Bach. Hi, Kiwi. And then there is Hi, Kiwi, the Bach, 2 through 27. I believe volume 4 is missing and was replaced by Cake. That's totally okay. We don't need to worry about that. If I go this way, though, I can actually show the little bit of the circuitry that I have here. If I hit this beep, secret exit, and then, in theory, when that lever is down, there we go, now it works. If I pull another book, cool. So that's how that works. I was messing around with different ideas for, like, desks and sort of sitting arrangements. I really like how the carpets look, but they make it so I can't really put a lot of good options for, like, seating arrangements that look great, because if I want to have, say, a desk like this, the carpet wouldn't fit underneath that. There's no space for it. So further exploring our nether hub, the real cool thing that we have that we can show is over here. We were messing around with kind of a fast travel system using boats again. So if I grab myself a boat, the idea is we want it to look cool as you're driving by it really quickly, and we came up with a couple different ideas for design that we're messing around with. This was Kiwi's own little hub of crafting an idea for what she wanted to do with our possible ice boat setup. We really haven't settled in on one yet. I'm honestly thinking about using this pattern here for that go-kart raceway that I showed early, but maybe using more of a like quartz aesthetic than blackstone and basalt aesthetic. But basically, you go really fast here, as long as you don't accidentally fall off the ice. But that's the idea behind this. It's very much a work in progress. We haven't even thought about the nether hub in some while. But here, this portal doesn't lead to anywhere in particular, if I recall. Just we found a mushroom mountain and wanted to be able to access it down the road. Although, actually, no, I'm wrong. We do have a, this is where we're playing exclusively creative. You can see we each have a little house. Mine's the one with the roof that isn't sealed in, and Kaylee's is the brick square. And then we have another farm and an auto farm as well. This one actually is circuited with redstone, so if I push this button, in theory, all this water will wash the weed away, and we're growing beets as well, and it just gets all collected into a set of hoppers that then feed into this chest, which is pretty cool. Okay, so here is my really big project, and it's definitely a work in progress, but a pretty sizable distance away from our house, I have made a giant empty space. I had a lot of fun blocking off the water that I kind of built against by accident. I may have not chose the easiest to build in location, but that said, I have a giant space, and what am I going to put in this? I am going to put pixel art of our cats underneath a giant evil castle. And I know that is a lot of big words for not a lot of substance at this time, but I'm curious to see what this world looks like in another year. And that's where I want to end this off on. This has been a really fun little project for me, and I mean, the YouTube channel very much the same. It's something that I didn't really think I would get into, and I got really into, and I'm having fun doing it, and I'm going to keep doing it. I don't know if I'll keep doing it for a whole nother year, but at least for the foreseeable future, I don't feel like I'm stopping anytime soon. So, Kiwi, with all that said, I look forward to what the next year will bring. I know it'll be with you, which makes it even better, and more exciting to look forward to. If nothing else, I imagine we're going to make a cake and a pie and some other tasty foods, and it's going to be a real good time. I am a simple creature who runs on food and very little else. But with all that said, Kiwi, I hope you've enjoyed watching, and if you're awake, I hope this is helping you fall asleep. If you're sleeping, I hope you're sleeping well. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Here's to another great year.